The sun was relentless, beating down on the dusty military checkpoint somewhere deep in a conflict zone. The air was thick with heat and tension. Soldiers, contractors, and local workers shuffled through the lines, each one eager to get to the other side, to safety, to duty, or to home. Among them was Lieutenant Sarah Mitchell. Her uniform was worn and dusty, her boots scuffed from miles of marching. Her eyes were tired but steady, reflecting the weight of months spent in combat zones. Her backpack, heavy with supplies and personal items, hung from her shoulder. Sarah had just completed a grueling 6-month deployment as a combat medic. She had saved lives, endured loss, and faced danger head on. Now she was heading back to base, longing for a moment of rest, a chance to see her team, and maybe, just maybe, a moment of peace. But at this checkpoint, peace was not guaranteed. As Sarah stepped forward, the checkpoint guards eyed her with suspicion. The tension was palpable. They were on high alert. Every bag was a potential threat. Every traveler a possible enemy. "Ma'am, step aside," barked a guard with a rough voice. "We need to search your bag," Sarah nodded, her heart steady, but her mind alert. She knew the routine, the invasive searches, the scrutiny, the endless questions. She had been through it before, countless times. The guards didn't just glance through her belongings, they ripped through her bag with force, dumping everything onto the dusty table. Ration packs, medical supplies, a worn journal filled with notes and sketches, and then a folded American flag carefully tucked inside. The live officer stepped forward, his eyes narrowing as he looked at the flag. The room went silent. Other soldiers and travelers stopped what they were doing, sensing the shift in atmosphere. The officer carefully unfolded the flag, revealing the stars and stripes, bright and pristine despite the harsh environment. He turned to Sarah, his voice dropping to a whisper. "Stand down." Those two words, "stand down," carried weight beyond their simple meaning. It was an order to the guards to cease their aggressive search, a command to lower their weapons and tension, and most importantly, a sign of respect. Sarah met the officer's gaze, steady and unwavering. She knew what those words meant: recognition of her service, acknowledgement of her sacrifice, and a silent apology for the suspicion she had faced. To truly understand the power of that moment, we need to rewind. Sarah Mitchell grew up in a small town in Kansas, the daughter of a Vietnam War veteran. From a young age, she was inspired by her father's stories, tales of bravery, brotherhood, and sacrifice. The ones she dreamed of serving her country, of making a difference. At 18, Sarah enlisted in the Army. Her path was not easy. She faced skepticism and doubt, especially as a woman entering a male-dominated field. But she was determined. She trained harder, ran faster, and studied longer than anyone else. Her passion led her to become a combat medic, a role that demanded courage, skill, and compassion. She was the lifeline for soldiers on the battlefield, the one who ran into danger to save lives. Sarah's deployment was a crucible. She served in some of the most dangerous regions, witnessing the horrors of war firsthand. She treated gunshot wounds, administered emergency care under fire, and comforted the dying. She lost friends, brothers, and sisters in arms who never made it home. Each loss weighed heavily on her heart, but she carried on, fueled by duty and love for her country. Her uniform was more than fabric. It was a symbol of sacrifice, resilience, and honor. Returning home was never easy. Soldiers often face battles that don't end when they leave the battlefield. Battles of perception, misunderstanding, and judgment. At checkpoints like this one, Sarah was sometimes met with suspicion rather than gratitude. People saw a tired woman with a backpack, not a hero who had risked everything, but inside her bag was more than supplies. It was a piece of her identity, a reminder of her service and sacrifice. The folded American flag in Sarah's bag was a gift from her unit, a symbol of honor given to medics who had gone above and beyond in saving lives. It represented the lives she had touched, the battles she had fought, and the values she upheld. When the officer saw that flag, he saw more than just a traveler. He saw a soldier, a medic, a patriot. After the whispered command to stand down, the atmosphere changed. The guards repacked Sarah's bag carefully, their demeanor respectful.